Why, hello there! Yes, it has been far too long. It has been ages since I have uploaded. I have had a whole flood of problems coming into the shop which have taken up far too much of my time. And here we are, getting back on the wagon, making more content for you wonderful people. Well, today is a wonderful day because today I've actually received some goodies from Uwell. There's a few different devices we're going to be looking at over the next, week or so, small period of time. A few different devices doing a few different things, fitting a few different user groups, and that's what we're going to be delving into. Today we are looking at the Cravat. I believe it could be, it's a French word by the looks of it, cravat. I do not know. No idea how you pronounce it. Somewhere along those lines, cravat is what I'm going to be calling it. Forsooth, I am not French. But yeah, it's a very, very small device. I haven't delved into it too much. I do like to keep myself as fresh as can be for the unboxings and the reviews, of course. So we're obviously going to open it up, fill it up, give it a little blast. Thoughts, opinions, anything I would change. Come back, talk about it. I will see you down there in Unbox Land. Well, here we are, and here they are, of course. Now, these are the wonderful Cravat. So from what I've gathered, just based on the box's goodness here, obviously we've got Cravat pod system, greatness in slenderness. Now, this is obviously going to be aimed at more so at that disposable market, people who are used to things being being as small and as easy to get on with as they possibly could be. And I feel that that is the sort of market that these devices are, of course, going to be going for. So let us start with this one. The first thing I do notice is this interesting little pull tab. Now, it is quite difficult to push down on here so that you can open this. I mean, obviously, you could chop this top piece off, but to keep it looking as fresh as possible, of course, just going to use that pull tab. That's a very small thing, but I am very glad to see that implemented here. Oh, wow. Of course, have a Type-C cable of goodness. Oh, that is so orange. Well, here it is. Look at that finish. Gorgeous sort of metallic flake finish on there. Now, I must give it to Uwell. They are the best finishers I've ever seen. Uwell and Oxford maybe are a tied top place there, but the quality of the paint used, I'll try and get a close-up so you can see probably a little bit better for you there. Just gorgeous quality paint, nice metal flake look in there. Honestly looks like guitar paint, really gorgeous finish. And the first thing I do notice, well, the second thing I do notice, is just how unbelievably light this is. Like, I am currently vaping on an elf bar, which I dare say is even heavier than this. This is really, really light. On the box, it says it is just over 20 grams, which is kind of unbelievable. The thickness, less than 1 centimeter, 0.9 millimeters is the very thickness of this device. And also, the pod itself is completely see-through. So you're not going to have any issues where you're pulling it out and holding it up to the light. How much juice do I really have flipping it upside down? None of that. Now, according to the box, it is a 300 milliamp hour battery, which I will be honest with you, is absolutely tiny. But so is this device. Now, obviously, if you want massive battery performance, it is going to have a massive battery in there. But of course, this is a rechargeable device because it is not a disposable. So as long as you're not far away from a charging port for more than, the 7 or 8 hours, I imagine, is about the best case scenario for most people. Purely based on the size of that battery, 300 milliamp hours is about half of what you would get out of a typical disposable vape. So I would expect to get about half the life of a typical disposable from this device here. And I am going to be starting off with the Elf Bull Ice. Of course, just remove this pod like so. Quite an interesting little side fill mechanism flap thing there, just right on the side. And this pod is a 1.2 ohm pod. Of course, we just put that in there. Fill it up slowly because you don't want it to sort of well over the top. There we go. So that is fully full. Slap that in there. Now we're going to leave that to saturate for 5 minutes or so, and I'm going to have a little look at the other colours for you. Magical full tab once again. As usual for Uwell colours, despite just being grey, That is amazing. There's a real depth to that, almost like a graphite sort of colour. This is a very different blue colour. It's almost like the iPhone 12 or 13 came in a really deep sort of, was it midnight blue? I might be losing my mind here, but a super deep sort of colour. It actually, in person, looks quite a lot deeper than it does on camera here. It's a very deep, really pleasant sort of blue colour, almost a sea blue sort of purpley almost. Very, very nice colour there. Absolutely gorgeous though. This orange is particularly fine. We will go back, please focus, we will go back to tasting land and I will tell you how it is. Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me. Here we are. As you can see, the level has gone down just a hoogel smidgen. It is sufficiently absorbed into that coil. I stress again how unbelievably small and thin this device is. It's kind of incredible. Take a disposable and half it is kind of how it feels. Very short, very, very slim. Obviously you saw the juice that we've got in there. We've got the energy flavour from Elf Bar. Elf Lick, Elf Bull, whatever you call it. It's all the same. I did try them at the vape show a little while ago, but this is going to be my first time trying them in one of my own devices rather than a device that was just like a display one there. I, of course, have gone with the orange colour because it is amazing. Look at that. The way it reflects the light is absolutely wild. But we are going to give it a little try. Now, this is probably one of my favourite Elf Bar flavours, or disposable flavours in general, is going to be the icy energy sort of flavour. Energy in particular. I'm not really that bothered about the ice. Let's give it a little try. The first thing I do notice as well, well, not the first thing, I need to stop saying that. Something I do notice is there's like a slope to the top. So you will not probably be able to bite on it and have it dangling from your mouth. You will need to have it secured in a hand in some way. Now, we have a little airflow hole on the side here, which is where your air is coming in from. So make sure you do not cover that up or it will feel like sucking a golf ball through a hose. Let's give it a blast. Oh, wow. Something I find with a lot of pod kits, pod systems, those sorts of things, is they hit very wet, whereas obviously disposables seem to hit very dry. This is it walks a very fine line in between. It gives you that really flavoursome pod kit flavour, but also you've got that disposable, so it's almost like a distance from the coil. Like it doesn't feel like it's spitting at you. It doesn't feel really hot when you're vaping on it. And this feels sort of bang in the middle between a typical pod system and your disposables that a lot of people are going to be trying to replace with this. This is incredible. I'm going to give it a few more blasts, see what the cloud production and whatnot is like. So, bigger than a disposable. Obviously much smaller than a typical sort of mouth-to-lung device. It's not what it's made for. We're not using the juice that's going to give us a massive cloud anyway. But that is incredible. I will leave in the comments an update on the battery life as to how I find it in terms of longevity. But a 300 milliamp hour is a 300 milliamp hour battery. It's not a big battery. I would probably get about half a day, 3/4 of a day out of this battery. But I will update you if anything changes in there. I have thoroughly enjoyed this device. I am probably going to try the blue one when I'm editing this video, because it's such an amazing colour. But thank you very much for making it to the end. Thank you, Uwell, for sending these wonderful devices out. Of course, I do appreciate it ever so greatly. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. I love you very much. I hope it has been sufficiently entertaining and educational for everyone watching. When you're lying in bed lonely at night, remember how much I love you. Leave me any thoughts, comments, opinions, feedback in the comments section below. Like, comment, and subscribe. Pardon me. And I will see you very soon. Bye!